listening to the TCB Radio Network.
Hello, friends. This is Elvis Presley.
I am Marion Cox, the official sex symbol on TCB Radio Network.
This is Mindy Miller.
This is Ray Walker from the Jordanaires.
This is Elvis's Speedway co-star Victoria Paige Myrie.
This is Cynthia Pepper from Kissing Cousins.
This is Zoe Botto, author of Elvis Style, From Suit Suits to Jumpsuits.
This is Don Wilson, and if you're looking for Elvis, you're in the right place, TCB Radio Network.
Where it's all about Elvis.
Everything is about Elvis. It is all about Elvis.
All Elvis, all the time.
If you want to listen to something really stylish, listen to tcbradionetwork.com.
You can't do any better than that, so stay with us.
People who know Elvis know about TCB Radio Network, where it's all Elvis, all the time.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, sir.
Cathy Treasure is the director of the Elvis Parkes Festival in Australia. She has over 20 years of event experience. She's been working on more than 50 events across 3 continents. She has a tremendous resume. We're so delighted to have her online today. Cathy, thank you so much for being with us here at TCB Radio Network.
Well, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm so excited to talk to your listeners about our great festival.
We're excited to talk to you too, and I know that you have a really strong background in marketing and events. How did you come across, or how did you get this dream gig of being the director of the Elvis Parkes Festival?
Look, it's the best job in Australia, I think, with the most unique job title. But a bit of a funny story behind it is I was living and working in Brisbane, teaching at the university there, and actually teaching case studies on Parkes Elvis Festival, and I was looking to relocate to the country near where I grew up, which is only an hour away. And my mum sent me the ad, and she said, look, this job would be perfect for you, and I jumped at it, and here I am 3.5 years later.
And you're a young woman like myself, so tell me about when did you first find Elvis?
Look, I've obviously known and been a fan of Elvis all my life. I think, you'd be living under a rock to have not heard and appreciate his music and movies. But really, once I took this job, I've learned so much more, and even a greater appreciation than I've had as a child, and listening to his music in our house.
It's just such a great atmosphere, and I want to encourage everybody to go to your website and look up, the different events and things you have going on. You have it seems like people in Australia just have such a cool, laid back feeling about Elvis. We have people in the States that are, really, they're not really sure if they like Elvis tribute artists. Some of them hate Elvis tribute artists, but you guys just kind of seem to embrace the whole Elvis culture and the whole memory and legacy. It seems like a really festive atmosphere.
We do. It's the friendliest festival in Australia. It's laid back, but everyone makes new friends. So even if you're not a fan of Elvis, we find people come, and after 24 hours here, they've been converted. So many times we've had sponsors come to the event that sort of were forced to come, and then now they come back by choice every year and bring more and more friends. So it's great to keep the legacy of the King alive and really expand the fan base within Australia. But yeah, we have amazing fans, very loyal ones who've been coming for 28 years.
It's wonderful, and I know that you ran the Central Coast Country Music Festival, and you grew attendance figures for that from 8,000 to more than 35,000. So I know you have a huge part in the way that it is now. So how are you just growing and growing this thing? What is your secret?
Well, the main secret is listening to what the fans want. So each year, we'll do surveys. I get out and talk to the crowds, talk to the artists themselves. And then they say, look, wouldn't it be great if we incorporated this in the festival? And I'm like, oh, yeah, that'd be a great idea. And we add it for the following. And I think by that people see we listen. We continue to improve and put an original spin on it every year. And a lot of it's about the programming and getting those top-level artists to your festival and having that interaction between the artists and the fans.
Yeah, it really seems like you've found the magic, and you have a lot of great sponsors, and it's all about the community too. I was reading that this community where you have this really grows in size just because of the festival, and that's a big part of it. You want to give back.
It is, and the whole reason the festival was created in the first place was by passionate Elvis fans, but also to create some economic impact within the region, which it's done, and the whole town embraces it. It took a number of years for all the businesses to get on board, but now pretty much, all the shop fronts get decorated, the local community. When I first moved here, when you went to a Christmas party, they weren't talking about New Year's Eve, they were talking about what they'd wear for Elvis and how they get their hair done. And even in the council office I work in now, pretty well every staff member has some Elvis suit or outfit behind their door. So it's really ingrained throughout the whole community.
Oh, it's incredible. It sounds like a place I want to be. So what's the history of it? I read a little bit, but share everybody. I know it has really cute beginnings, and it's been around for a long time.
It has. It'll be 28 years in 2020, and it all started over, rumour has it, a couple of glasses of red wine. So there was a birthday party on at a local restaurant called Hotel Gracelands, obviously run by Elvis fans. It was a birthday party of a local community member. The barman saw the party was starting to die off a bit, so he cranked up some Elvis music, and everyone just came alive. So then they had some wine after the party and said, hey, let's start a festival. And the rest is history. But those two founders that first came up with the idea are still working on the festival today, which is a fabulous story, and still brings me cupcakes that she's baked, trying to feed me during their busy hours, and volunteers throughout the festival. And Bob Steele as well is involved running some of the portfolios. And I've just hired their daughter Tiffany, who actually grew up as part of the festival and went away and worked in events because of that, and she's come back now as our marketing and sponsorship coordinator. So a lovely family story.
Wow, it's amazing. So I read that Parkes has about 12,000 people, and you've pretty much become synonymous with Elvis because of this festival happening for all these years. And the festival attracts about 20,000 people each year because of all the international media. They've heard about you in Afghanistan and the Far East and everywhere else. Would you agree with those numbers? It's about 20,000 people that come every year?
Yeah, and I think those numbers are a little bit conservative. It's really hard to measure the attendance at our festival because so many events are free and people can just come through, for an hour, for a day, for the whole 5 days. And also, each year people are coming earlier and earlier. So we start on the Wednesday, but some people come in 2 weeks early just to get their campsite in town. So, yeah, at least 20,000 people come to the town within that time.
It's amazing. So every year, does it start on January 8th, no matter what day that falls on?
No, we always do it on the second full weekend of January, just because we do need to hold the festival over a weekend. So sometimes that will fall, most of the times the 8th will fall within that, but sometimes it may be just before, and then we hold a special celebration pre-festival to celebrate his birthday.
Okay, so what are the exact dates for 2020?
The exact dates are the 8th until the 12th of January.
Okay, and if someone has never been and they're a diehard Elvis fan like me, and maybe they're all the way over here in the United States, what would you tell them? Why do they need to come out for the first time?
Look, it's a festival like you'll never experience anywhere else. Like, I know there's amazing Elvis festivals throughout the world, but this way you can also, experience the real Australia out in the country. You'll get that connection with the community, and you'll also see some amazing tribute artists. So this year, for example, we have D&Z coming from the US, who I'm sure you're very familiar with, and we're very excited to have Dean come to our country. But we also have over 265 events, so there's something for everyone, and there's no other place like Parkes in the world.
It is just mind-blowing to me. This is unlike any festival that I've ever heard of or been to, for sure. I mean, it's just hard to even picture 260-something events going. That's incredible. I wish we had that kind of enthusiasm here in the States. It's wonderful what you've done. And I would have to say, because people ask me all the time, because of the line of work that, Peter's an Elvis tribute artist, and people are like, well, aren't Elvis fans dying out? Aren't they disappearing? And we're like, no. What do you say to that?
Look, I think our numbers show that they're not. So they're growing every year, and the indications for this year is it's going to be bigger than any of years before. But you see all the younger tribute artists coming through. We've got a big youth component within our festival as well. So we do youth talent workshops. We've got a new Unplugged competition, trying to get people to do, the younger demographic to do a unique slant on Elvis's music. But you look around at this, every school in Parkes, the kids all know Elvis and love his music, and it's just growing. And each year our demographic is getting younger and younger with the numbers. So that love's never going to die.
That's amazing. What do you think it is that sets Elvis apart? Why are we having Elvis festivals and not Dean Martin festivals and things like that?
Look, I think it's so many reasons. He was the whole package, really. Like, good looking, of course, amazing musician, brilliant entertainer. Obviously, his movies brought the fan base from there as well. But his music crosses generations. Like a lot of the other artists the music only appeals to one generation. But you can play an Elvis song for the first time to a child and they'll just start dancing and singing along. So it's really ageless music.
Mm-hmm. Well, and something else I love about your festival is you have a great theme every year. So will you tell everybody about the theming?
We do. We always maintain the soul of the festival, which is obviously honouring Elvis and his music and his movies. But we need to, I guess, mix that up so fans who've been coming for 28 years have something new to do every year. And we do that with a theme. So this year's Frankie and Johnny. Our themes come really from ideas from the original volunteer groups, the Elvis Revival Inc., who started the festival. And they pitched to us a number of ideas, and then we choose the ones that would work for fans for their costuming and marketing. So with Frankie and Johnny, we just looked at, fabulous movie and the amazing costumes, especially for the women. And we've got a lot of female fans that come to the event. And we try and mix it up last year. So last year was all about the 50s and rock and roll with All Shook Up. And this year we're obviously looking at the 60s with the Frankie and Johnny movie.
It's going to be amazing. And you guys, you celebrate Priscilla too. There's a Miss Priscilla that I saw.
We don't want the guys to have all the fun. So, the costumes that the ladies wear to the festival are incredible. And we wanted also a way to honour Priscilla and her amazing look. And Miss Priscilla is a very important part of the festival. And the person who wins that title actually does a lot of official duties and performances throughout the weekend and is treated a bit like a movie star.
Wow, that's so unique. I haven't heard of anything like that going on. That's really different. Something to involve the ladies. I like it. So tell everybody how you come up with these unique themes. This year was Frankie and Johnny. How did you come up with that? Just inspired by the film, or I think you said somebody suggested it?
Yeah, we get as I mentioned before, we've got Elvis Revival Inc., which is a group of volunteers who initially ran the festival until it really outgrew a volunteer committee. And they, as part of their involvement in the festival, they're all, absolute complete Elvis fans. They give us a number of ideas and we look at how that fits in. So Frankie and Johnny was something that we wanted a lot of colour this year, a lot of colour, music and fun. The masquerade ball component of it. So it really gave us a lot of ideas that we can use for the festival.
It's phenomenal. And I love all the different events. So let's talk about that, because in the United States, when we see Elvis Festival, we think, oh, great, at least I do, another Elvis competition. But you've gotten so creative with all the different things you do. Tell us about some of those 260 plus events that you're having.
Wow. Well, it takes a lot of work to get different ones themed around honouring the king. So obviously we do have the Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artist Contest, which go on to win the place at Memphis. So that's an important part of our festival. But then we've done things like this year we have one of Australia's premier country music artists doing a tribute to Elvis's country music, which is something new for this year. So we have an Elvis gospel service where we pay tribute to Elvis's gospel music. So we try and pick out different, genres that Elvis has covered and create events around that. We do a poet's breakfast for the riders out there, renewal of vows. We have a street parade, which is just full of colour, and the community all get behind that, and fabulous floats and music and classic cars. We do car shows as well. So something for for those who, you know, are not mad Elvis Presley music fans, we have different things that are in theme with his life that they will love. And then we convert them into becoming mad Elvis fans.
Yeah. Yes, I noticed you had something with ukuleles even.
We did, and that came from Bob Steele, the founder of the festival, and he said, look, in these movies Elvis was playing the ukulele. People come to the festival that want to learn something new, and we found fans have actually said they want to do more. So rather than sit back and watch shows, they want to get involved. So we've got the ukuleles, we've got some Elvis golf for people who just want to go out and dress in theme. We have some 50s deportment and 50s hair and makeup workshops this year for the ladies again. And we also do a one-song sing, which is where people come together and learn how to sing an Elvis song in 3-part harmony in an hour that then they can go out and perform during the festival. So we try and get fans involved.
Wow, it's truly interactive, totally interactive.
It is, and I think that's why this festival is so successful. Everyone gets to know, there's 20,000 people in town, but they seem to all become your friends over those 5 days. And the police in town actually say they love it because crime goes down because everyone's in such a great mood, and it's just really friendly.
That's just amazing. And I understand for the first time ever, you even have people coming in on sleeper cars, trains with sleeper cars in them.
We do. That's probably one of the biggest challenges with the festival is we have so many people wanting to come and we just need to house them. So locals open up their homes. We do a program called Home Hosting where you can go and stay with Parkes locals. They either stay there and you hire out a room or they move out and you get their house. We have the sleeper trains. We have a Gracelands on the Green, which is tented accommodation. And we've set up shuttle buses to nearby towns, which are only 25 minutes away, which is, really close if you're from a metropolitan area, where people can stay in motels and then bus in and out for the festival.
Unbelievable. And how do you feed everybody?
Well, that's what the local businesses love to do. So
the restaurants stay open 24 hours for 4 days.
There is. We get some market stall holders in to complement the local, pubs, clubs and restaurants. But really the festival is all about, we're in drought here at the moment. So a lot of the smaller businesses are struggling and things like this festival help them, throughout the year. So it's really important that we encourage people to eat and drink at the local cafes and restaurants.
It's amazing. Now, in the U.S., we have food trucks. Do you guys bring in food trucks?
We do. We do bring in some food trucks. They're the market stall holders and of different food types. And we have those down in Cook Park, which is the main focal part where we have all our major free entertainment. But, again, we encourage people to eat at the existing restaurants as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely. It just helps the local economy, and no wonder you've gotten so much. I see you have platinum and gold and silver sponsors and things like that. Now, speaking of that, maybe you're fine, but if somebody maybe for 2021 or your 30th anniversary, if they wanted to come on as a sponsor, how would they do that?
They just need to contact us direct, and we have quite a comprehensive sponsorship program with brilliant benefits that connect you straight to our 30,000 people, our fans, locals and visitors. And as you know, this festival gets exposure all over the world, so it's a great one for sponsors to align themselves with. And in 3 years, we've tripled our sponsorship, and a lot of those have signed in for 3-year agreements because they've been so happy after their first year.
It's just so wonderful. Well, I want to point everybody to the website. It's Parkes with an E, Parke, Parkes Elvis Festival.com.au. So we'll definitely put a link on the blog for everybody so you can click on that. And you just go right in there, and that's the best way to get your tickets, I would imagine, right?
It is, and we've developed a special search function on that website. So if there's a particular performer you want to see, you can go and search by their name and find out where they're playing and what time. And then that will click through to the ticketing site for their shows. But as I mentioned before, we make sure that over 80% of our entertainment is free. So any budget can attend and enjoy the festival. And we've got some fabulous free outdoor entertainment on throughout the week.
That's amazing. I knew you had some free entertainment, but I didn't realize it's 80%. That's incredible.
Yeah, the festival's all about generating, business for the town, and we want people to come and enjoy it. And at the moment, Australia is in a massive drought, so we're encouraging people to come and spend at the local businesses, and to also, for those who are, the farming communities who are in drought, to still be able to come and enjoy it without having to spend a lot of money.
That's great. And I want to tell everybody, too, that the website is beautiful. It's super, super user-friendly. This is a really good website. You'll be able to find anything you're looking for. Even the Elvis Express train, you can click on that and learn how to take part of that, and dance lessons and so much more than just shows. I'm just so thrilled that we found you. Thank you so much for spending time. I mean, you're getting coverage everywhere, and we're honored that you're talking to us here at TCBRadioNetwork.com. We really appreciate your time, Cathy.
Anytime. I love to speak to festival fans and tell as many people in the world as I can about our brilliant event.
Yeah, well, definitely keep us posted, and we'll be happy to share anything you have coming down. Let us know, and we'll keep in touch.
Well, I hope to see you at the festival in 2020 or 2021.
I got a feeling you will.
Thanks for listening to our show today. Don't forget to subscribe to TCB Radio Network on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast platform. By subscribing, you'll get a notification as soon as our latest episode drops. While you're at it, please rate us with a 5-star review. This will help other Elvis fans find our show. Also, this just in, you can now subscribe to our podcast episodes on YouTube. We also have a YouTube channel that includes archived episodes of our Facebook Live broadcasts and more. You can find links to this and so much more at tcbradionetwork.com.
TCB Radio Network is strictly a fan publication, not affiliated in any way with Elvis Presley Enterprises or any of its affiliates or subsidiaries. Please visit us online at tcbradionetwork.com. All trademarks, product names, company names, and logos mentioned are the properties of their respective owners. All opinions stated within do not necessarily reflect the opinions of anyone else, and certainly not Elvis Presley Enterprises.
Still the King, our theme song for TCB Radio Network podcast, was written by Shane Douglas, produced by Terry Fullwider at Blue Spot Studios, and performed by Peter Alden and his band Crown Electric Company, featuring David Fontana, son of Elvis Presley's original drummer DJ Fontana, on drums.
Elvis Presley is still the king. Well, he's still the king. That's all right. Man, he sure could sing. That's all right. Still the king.